Family separations surging at the border amid the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy. One public defender says about 500 children have been separated from their family since May, including an undocumented mother who says her baby was taken while she was breastfeeding. Our Ed Lavandera is live in McAllen, Texas. Ed, you're part of the team that brought this story that has really, sparked outrage in many parts of the country. What have you learned?
Well, we're also getting a rare glimpse inside one of the shelters where these minors are being held. This is a shelter in the city of Brownsville, not too far from where we are in McAllen. Imagine it's a converted old Walmart, 250,000 square feet in this particular facility. Some 1,500 kids being held. On average, they stay there about 50 days. And in this one particular shelter, the number of minors inside that shelter has jumped by 300, which again comes back to this issue of how much outrage and anger there is over this zero tolerance policy and how dramatically things have changed here on the border.
Hundreds, possibly thousands of undocumented immigrants have been separated after crossing the border in the last month. It's the emotional fallout from the Trump administration's attempt to prosecute all migrants who've illegally entered the United States. Natalia Cornelio, an attorney with the Texas Civil Rights Project, has met with dozens of these families and describes the controversial zero-tolerance policy as torture.
One of the women that I interviewed today told me that she was breastfeeding her daughter when the government took her daughter from her. And when she resisted, she said that was when they put handcuffs on her.
Other activists say some families have been misled by federal authorities so that the children can be separated and sent to different detention facilities. A Customs and Border Protection official says nothing could be further from the truth, and these allegations are unsubstantiated. The zero-tolerance policy is such a dramatic change that it is confusing and appears arbitrary. On the bridges across the Rio Grande, federal agents are often standing right at the international boundary, turning away many immigrants, some who come requesting asylum. It's a move immigrant rights activists say they've never seen before. And while hundreds of immigrants are escorted by bus into federal court in McAllen, Texas, to face a judge, just a block away at an immigrant shelter, hundreds who also crossed illegally have been released.
Por eso es que estoy aquí.
With tears in his eyes, Arbid Moran feels like one of the lucky ones. He and his son crossed the Rio Grande a week ago in a raft.
¿Te llevaron a la corte? Did they take you to court?
No.
¿Te separaron del hijo? Did they separate you from your child?
He was given a court date and a GPS ankle monitor. Now he's on his way to reunite with family in Colorado. A Department of Homeland Security official says the number of undocumented immigrants handed over to federal prosecutors has doubled in the last month. But it's still not clear why and how some are sent to court and others are released.
We have a goal, and that goal is to end the lawlessness that now exists in our immigration system.
Miguel Nogueras, a federal public defender, says the Trump administration's border crackdown is inhumane.
I don't think that this represents the values of the American people.
And John and Allison, the Trump administration remaining unapologetic for what it's doing. A DHS official told us yesterday that under the DHS leadership, no longer will entire categories or classes of aliens be exempted from the law. So many people within the Trump administration applauding what has happened here over the course of the last month, to the dismay of many activists and immigrant rights activists across the country as well. John and Allison.